Hey everyone, welcome back to the show. This is your Jee Sifu at Tree Nature and Tina Dragon Taoism YouTube channel. So today we're going to talk about this topic of Taoism and Taoist magic, about why you don't get it. Okay, so everything in Taoism is fake. Okay, it sounds really weird, right? What do I mean by fake, though? Um, well, it's like what's on the surface that you see and what's actually inside is not the same. It's like you're using a metaphor to describe something, because what we are working with in Taoism and Taoist magic is not a physical object. So we need to use a physical thing to relate to it so that you can understand. Okay, so why a lot of Westerners or outsiders, even the Chinese, don't get it? It's because you are stuck with, three sources. One is the movie and media, which is always wrong. Okay, in the movies, if you look at Taoism, Taoist Master, it's really weird because they are always like a ghostbuster kind of thing. Okay, like they always kill the vampires, the Chinese zombies, those things, right? But in reality, we don't do that stuff. And there are a lot of fu and magic in the movie that is like how gunfights are like in the movies. You know how gunfight works in the movie? Bang, 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 bang. Unlimited bullets. Okay, in reality, we don't shoot like that, right? In the movies, cops can be like, "Huh? You fire a gun, okay? They're like this, and then like everything is right on the dot. In reality, you need to like really aim at, right? So yeah, it's not the same, right? But if you are not a Taoist, not training in a sect, then you look at the movies, you'll be like a normal person looking at gunfights in the movie, and then you end up with a lot of weird things, like, oh, you believe that holding a gun you can be like a gangster, like this. It doesn't work like that in reality. You cannot just point blank and shoot. It doesn't work. So now, another source. Okay, so we got the first one, movie, right? Second one are all the books on the market that are done by non-Taoists. So, like especially Westerners, you get to like you're used to reading books. You've grown up in a education system that teaches you that knowledge are in the book. You just need the book, then you will have the knowledge. But it doesn't work like that in Taoism and also many other arts, such as martial art. You try to learn martial art from reading books, you're not going to get anywhere. You need to have someone to teach you the stuff. You need a real person. You can't figure it out yourself because it's something that you need to feel, right? Martial art involve a lot of feeling, your senses, the body. You cannot describe it because you need to feel yourself. For example, someone punch you, right? Oh, how would you deflect this punch? And then your master like this, and then push, and this, the force goes up here, and like that. And oh, okay, I feel. Let me try to copy. You cannot put that into words and describe it. Even you can, the reader will not be able to get it because it involves feeling. It cannot write feelings. You can try to describe, but it's never going to be the real feeling for the audience. Okay, so yeah. And the last one is a lot of so called uh, master wannabe. Okay, what I mean by master wannabe are those people who spread online and they spread so loud everywhere. People believe them just like they believe the books because they often go by the title doctor, PhD, expert, that kind of nonsense title. If you're a Taoist master, you train under a sect, you don't have any of these titles. There's no PhD, there's no cert, there's nothing. A real Taoist master teach you the stuff, you are the disciple. There's no need for a cert. No cert, right? So, yeah, because you're grown up with certificates, with education that, all qualify, you get qualified by your school, then you have these certs. Taoism doesn't work like that. Okay, so now you know why you don't get it. But what are the examples that will tell you why you failed, why you get it wrong? So there are a lot of people who believe in the Big Dipper, right? They believe that Taoists have this thing about worshiping the Big Dipper for whatever things, for good luck, for health, for anything. They worship the Big Dipper, or they worship the stars in the sky. And that is why a lot of people are into that Taoist astrology. They believe something in the sky, those stars and planets, they have something to do with our life here, and they start worshiping those things, and well, you got it all wrong. Yeah. The word star is a metaphor. Okay? In real Taoist magic, the word star is used as a metaphor. For example, when we talk about the 7 star or the 9 star, which is what most people get it as like the Big Dipper, it's not about the star in the sky. That star in the sky is a metaphor only. It's like a placeholder, right? It's just a name. But what we are referring to are 9 phases of completion of something. It's very hard to understand if no one explained it to you. So here I will try to use my remaining 10 minutes to explain it to you. So first star or the phase is what we call one white. It's the time when you have an idea that comes into you. There's vision. Okay? So I can see something. I can see something not like with my eyes. I can see something like I can see today that's my plan. You can see it. It comes into your mind. That's a vision. Number 2 is what we call black. You have the desire. I want. I have the want. Inside, you feel like I want this. And then number 3 is the inspiration. We call this the 3 green, light green. The pre-heaven energy comes in. It goes into this area right here. And this gives you senses and triggers your senses. So you're kind of itchy about it, okay? And then it goes down into here, the zone, and it goes to a dark green, what we call 4 dark green. This phase gives you the ability to think about things and ponder about things. And then that energy goes down here, what we call the 5 yellow. It makes you feel and you decide if you really want to do it. Once the decision is made, it goes down. So we have the green and the yellow mixed together. Because it's light, it goes to blue. When it's here, down in your gut, it goes into blue. While it's in the number 6 zone going blue, you will start to accumulate the ideas, and it's like you're planning stuff, but it's all held in your temporary memory, the storage inside your gut. So you're like, I'm thinking about it, and then I'm keeping the ideas, I'm keeping all the points right here. Ready? Okay, now I have all the ideas, I have all the points. It's time to release. When I feel that release point, like I need to burst, I need to release my feeling, I need to express myself. That is what we call 7 red. Okay, Seven bread is when you physically express it. It could be that spark moment that makes you want to say it out, do it, your facial expression, all that physical stuff acting out. And then we have the eight, okay, phase eight, which is development in the physical reality. So it keep doing it, getting bigger, getting like doing it, and then the last phase is the finishing in physical reality, which we call the nine purple. That is when everything is about to be done, expressing everything. It's almost like all done, and then it's dying down, and the stuff finish, and then you have the next idea come up. So I used about 2 minutes to tell you what nine star is. So what about the Big Dipper, the seven star? Well, it's from 1 to 7. So anything from like when you have an idea to you physically will express it or it physically manifests to this world. So that's the seven phases. Okay, that's seven phases. Now, this seven phases can be used in magic. Okay, like putting it in short, if I use magic to boost your number three star, okay, so the phase three, when you have inspiration and senses, when I use magic to boost that energy into you, it gives you more ideas, more inspiration, more like trigger your senses. What can that do? Well, that depends on my intention. For example, if I'm doing some bad magic, magic to hurt someone, to screw them up, okay? Then let's say this person, it's a graphic designer, okay? Then he's supposed to design a poster for the client. So the client already told him to do this poster like this. I'm going to pay you this much. You just give me this. And well, yeah, if this person just do the poster and submit the work, he's going to get paid. However, I want to screw him up. I use this magic to send him the D3 energy, that number three star energy, right? And it gives him so many ideas, senses. And then suddenly he started going like, huh, I'm supposed to hand in the work today, but I just have that feeling of this. Let me just do some tweaks here, do some tweaks here. Let me just like try a new print shop. Let me try something new. And then the client get really mad later on. Why don't you follow instruction? I tell you to do this and you do something else. I'm not going to pay for you. And then you get into argument with the client. Your business just crash, right? So you can hurt someone like that. You can also help yourself like that. Well, how can I use that to help myself? For example, I am a blogger. I went online and started to type my blog. I can bring in more of this type of energy to me, and it brings me inspiration and ideas. So instead of just sitting there trying to, be stuck and don't know what to type for today, I bring in that energy. Immediately, I have a lot of ideas, and I don't need to waste time trying to like procrastinate, sit around, wait for ideas to come. You don't need to wait. You don't need to waste time, right? See, that's magic. However, it's like more complicated than this if I have to explain the whole thing of how it works. But we work with these energies that are not physical elements, right? So we're just using the name of things like things that you can relate to compare or reference, okay, to these energies, different types of things that are not visible, right? So another example is when we talk about the sun and the moon. Some people believe that we absorb the energy from the sun, and there goes some weird Westerners started their sun gazing uh, practice. They look up at the sun and damage their eyes by just doing that, looking up to the sun, absorbing the sun's energy, and going crazy. These are examples of weird Taoist practice that went offshoot. because you don't even understand what the sun is. So what is the sun? The sun is the source of the power, the source of light. So it's like, where are your powers, your resources coming from? To any Taoist sect, like, no matter which sect, the sun is referring to their power source. So it's different for all the sects out there, because every sect has their own power source. Usually, we gave that power source a name, such as the celestial court, right? It's like that's where all the gods of that religion or that sect reside. That's where all the gods are. So you see, the sun is not the actual planet. It's referring to something that holds all the power of that sect. That's where it is. Okay, so for example, if in my sect, okay, we have the sun, which we call the celestial court, or you can also call that the religious court. Okay, so it's where all our gods are. That's where we take our powers, right? So what is the moon? The moon is the thing that absorb the power and hold on to it, then reflect to here. So our altar, this thing at my back, our altar is the moon. It absorbs the light, the power, or the resources, the potentials from the sun. And then we can work with it at the moon right here, right? We work at the moon, and then we bring the power out by using other mediums, and then bounces the light off to other things, such as deploying the magic power with a fool or with a magic tool onto a client or a believer. It's a metaphor, okay? Another thing that most of you might heard of is the five element or the five phases. Mhang. Gold, water, wood, fire, earth. This is also a metaphor. And it's so funny because some people are like, oh, we need more wood energy. Let's go out and hug the tree or smell the leaf or go to the forest, and then I will absorb more of that energy. This is, you're like totally not getting it. Five element is the five ways of how energy move. It's the pre-heaven energy, not like the physical element. It's a comparison. It's a metaphor. Gold element, okay? Gold doesn't move. It stays there, right? So it's very heavy. It stays there, doesn't move. So first phase, don't move. Water always flows from top down, okay? Top down. Wood always grows from bottom up. Fire burns outward, and earth just accumulate and pile up and get more and more and like that. So it explains the five phases of how things happen. First, you don't move, right? I don't move. I just sit there. What happened? Well, when I don't move, I gather in the feelings. So if I'm not moving, I suddenly will have some feelings of what I want to do. Secondly, I will want to put down, I will want to commit, put down the time. So when you have a feeling, you will have the commitment feeling, like, oh, I want to spend that much time. So that's water. When you decided to spend the time on something, that's water. And then you pump up, you get motivated, you pump up the energy. That's wood, you get motivated. And then you start doing it physically. That's the physical execution, that's fire. And then earth at the end is when you receive the fruits from what you have done. So you witness what you have done, you accumulate the fruit back into your body. That's the earth. That's five element. It explains the five phases of all happenings. And you can use magic to increase or decrease those energies of yourself or someone else for a good or bad intention. That's magic. So I hope I have opened up your mind more. We'll see you in the next episode. My timer is screaming so bad. See you next time. Remember to subscribe, like. Bye bye.